We're starting with Videodrome, 1983, written and directed by David Cronenberg. Here's the summary. When he acquires a different kind of show for his station, a sleazy cable TV programmer begins to see his life and the future of media spin out of control in a terrifying new reality. Any additional information, Jason?
I don't know. The only tagline I seen from this was stupid. It says, from David Cronenberg, creator of Scanners.
It wasn't Long Live the New Flesh. I thought that was...
I didn't see it.
Oh, I thought that was it.
Distributed by Universal Pictures, and this had a Criterion release on Blu-ray in 2010.
This movie surprised me how much I enjoyed it because I didn't think I was going to for whatever reason. I guess I've seen Cronenberg and I like all the stuff I've seen, but I have somehow never watched this before. You had seen it before, right?
Yes.
Had you seen it before?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm in the dark. A really good movie. I got lots of vibes of like Clockwork Orange and They Live actually, kind of with the governmental whatever infiltration of your mind. It's the first thing I can think of that I like James Woods in, but Jared said that he's great in everything, so I got to look into him more.
Yeah, he's James Woods. Watch Digstown. I'm telling you, man.
And this is the first instance in my life that I've ever been like, Debbie Harry is a little bit sexy, isn't she? Look at her. Because previously everybody's always like talking about how fucking sexy Debbie Harry is. I'm like, she's not though, right? But this movie proves me wrong. It's a highly erotic film, Jared. Highly erotic. In a weird way. In a weird society type way. You know what I'm saying? Like a weird body horror.
Off-putting.
Yeah. This seems like the kind of movie that if you watched it on multiple times, you'd notice something completely different every time, because I know I'm going to watch this plenty more times. It's just, there's so much to it. There's so much content. Yeah, there's not much more to say from me aside from never, ever, whatever you do, no matter what you do, don't put a gun inside your stomach, pussy, because things get fucked up after that. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I thought the first act of this movie was painfully slow. The 30 minutes in this movie, and it's still just James Woods trying to find out more about Videodrome. The hallucinations and the body horror is all great, which is kind of I think a given with Cronenberg. Again, this movie felt way longer than the runtime. Mm-hmm. Hour 27 minutes. It was every bit of 2 hours and what it felt like. I don't know. Like lots of people like this movie. Some even think it's his best movie. The acting's fine. The music's fine. I do think it is kind of where it was. This 1983. And like this movie still applies today.
Oh yeah,
especially with as much as the technology is relevant today. That technology kind of replaces reality. If you want something weird to watch, like I know people are just into weird stuff. This is it. I really don't understand all the hype about it, but it's okay. I gave it a 7.
Well, see, I didn't even give my score. I gave it a 10. So
you gave it a 10.
Yeah, I thought this was a classic movie that I should have fucking seen like years ago. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I see this? Perfect.
Oddly, you say that. I did. I think I enjoyed it more back in the day when I watched it than I did now. The first act of it was just really boring. It just drug on and on and on. So
I think I just liked the dirtbag character, like how like he was like, you got any fucking tapes? What do you got? Like this fucking, he was really dirt. Like I could picture guys like that because he's like, it's kind of an underground tape. You never see this. I know guys that are like that. You never find this anywhere. It's fucking rare. Like, but really dirty, you know.
Yeah, I give this one a 9. It's one of my favorite Cronenbergs. I think Naked Lunch is my favorite, but these two are the top. They've kind of switched back and forth. I really like the commentary on culture and how people behave and how they behave with technology. The fact that so many years later, it all still holds up really well, I think is really impressive. the body horror in it. It's Cronenberg, so the body horror in it it's just fantastic. I like the conspiracy feel. I've always loved stuff like that since I was a kid too. So this was one when I watched it when I was a kid. I always loved that stuff, so that kind of tickled that funny bone too. The first act is slow. I always felt it worked for it because it's kind of building the suspense of what is this, and mixing that in with the fact that he is kind of a sleaze. The commentary on about it's just kind of how humans are terrible in general. And like everything, it's slow, but it builds slow to what it needs to build for it to work for me. It's just the stuff that Cronenberg does fantastic.
You think it had the payoff?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think
he had a handgun.
I think it absolutely
Yeah, he really did.
I mean, there really aren't any good people in this movie. So it kind of sets them up on like it takes that first half hour, the first act to set up the different kinds of bad. It doesn't just make one generic bad character. This is the bad guy, this is the good guy, that kind of archetype and go. It uses the like Debbie is weird and after rushes and kinky, and she gets a little sleazy, and James Woods is sleazy in a different way, shocked at how kinky Debbie is, but almost comes off worse because at least she's honest about it. But then he kind of has his own honesty to his badness.
See, I'm bored already.
And then like that all gets set up in the first act, and that's what makes the story work for me in the last two. And that's how it ties in with all the other stuff that's going on and how Videodrome plays into it. And like I said, the effects, of course, are great. It's Cronenberg. The body horror is fantastic.
That's the only reason why.
The hallucinations and
high.
the weird out stuff, I think, is... I think it's more tripped out in this, not as far as Naked Lunch, but more so than his other stuff. And I enjoy that. And it doesn't... The kind of commentary through it, the other thing I like about it, is it's not giving you, this is what I'm saying. It's just kind of presenting something that lets you think about it in wherever you'll go. So it's not saying this is absolutely what things are. It just kind of gives you... So all of it works together, and it's just great Cronenberg. So for me, it's 9.
And there's nothing better in the whole film than that last shot where he fucking does himself in and says, long live the new flesh.
So
fantastic.
Well, so something new we started doing is the last Roundup Horror Show approved, and that's anything that scores a 24 or higher, which is an average of 8. So this would be.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 7.
7. Yeah.
So we hit.
So this is
7,
an
9,
approved
10.
movie.
Yeah.
Approved.
We approve it.
Worth watching. I don't think anybody's going to be shocked to find out that somebody gave.
You guys can go ahead and watch videos.
Well, I
Trust
mean,
me.
Frank, this was his first time watching
It's
it,
true.
so you got to think of
Yeah.
all the people that haven't seen this movie.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you need to fucking watch it. I mean, it's just something that I should have saw fucking when I was a teenager. Okay, we're gonna.